Carla stood over her half-packed suitcase, carefully folding a light sweater. The room was bright with early morning sunlight, and for the first time in years, she felt like her life was about to begin again. A writing retreat in Ireland. Just 2 weeks. Just her. No caregiving. No cleaning up after anyone. Just her words and the quiet she'd been aching for. Nathan stood in the doorway, holding his coffee mug. "You really think you can just leave everything behind?" She looked up, startled. "I told you about this months ago." He smiled, that small, tight smile he used when he wanted to seem calm but wasn't. Sure. I just didn't think you'd actually go through with it." Carla brushed past him to grab her passport from the desk drawer. Her fingers reached for the envelope. It wasn't there. She paused, confused. She opened the drawer wider, then checked the others. Nothing. She moved to the bedroom, opening the top dresser drawer, then the second, her hands moving faster now. "Where's my passport?" she asked, already knowing the answer. Nathan didn't respond. He leaned against the door frame, taking another sip from his mug. "You don't need it." She turned to him. "Nathan, I'm serious. I have to leave in 3 hours. Where is it?" He set his mug down on the dresser. "I'm serious too. You're not going. You belong here." Her breath caught in her throat. You didn't do this. Please tell me you didn't take it." Nathan shrugged. "It's not safe. You've been under a lot of stress. Traveling alone across the world. It's reckless." Carla shook her head, disbelief washing over her. "This was all I had. You said you supported me. You said—" "I said a lot of things, but I had to do what's best for you, for us." His voice was steady, calm, like he was talking about cancelling a dinner reservation, not stealing her freedom. She stumbled back a little, her suitcase open and forgotten on the floor. "You took it. You planned this. You're not ready. You think writing in Ireland is going to fix everything. You need rest. You need to be home. With me." Carla felt her knees weaken. Her heart pounded as the room tilted around her. She wasn't just disappointed, she was trapped. And for the first time, she realized just how far Nathan would go to keep her that way. Carla had once dreamed of seeing the world, and for a little while, she did. She was a travel writer in her 20s, sending in articles from Paris, Morocco, and small mountain villages most people never heard of. She had notebooks filled with stories and dusty shoes from the road. But that was before Nathan, before life turned into something quiet, careful, and small. She met Nathan at a networking event in Chicago. He was charming then, funny, confident, and attentive in all the right ways. He called her fearless, told her she had fire. She didn't notice at first how often he interrupted her, or how quickly he'd steer the conversation back to himself. At the time, it felt like being with someone strong, like maybe she could rest for once. After they got married, she moved back to the suburbs. He said it was temporary, just until his business stabilized. He needed her help with bookkeeping. "You're so good with words and details," he said. "You'll make us a great team." She believed him, but weeks turned into months, and months into years. She gave up her freelance clients one by one. She told herself it was just for now. Then her father got sick. Taking care of him became her full-time life. Cooking, bathing, appointments, nights on the pull-out couch beside his bed. Nathan said all the right things in public, how proud he was of her, how strong she was. But at home, he avoided helping. "You're better at it," he said. "He responds better to you." And she told herself that was love too. She remembered crying while folding laundry one afternoon. The house was silent except for the hum of the dryer. A travel video played on her phone. Blue oceans, winding streets, food sizzling in a market. She watched it like someone looking through a window at another life. After her father passed, she thought she might finally return to herself. She suggested going back to work part-time, maybe even therapy to help with the grief. Nathan had smiled. "Sure, but maybe wait a bit. You've been through a lot. We should take things slow." She nodded then. She always nodded. There was a day, just a few weeks ago, when she sat in her car in the grocery store parking lot for nearly an hour. She had picked up the milk and the bread and the bananas, but instead of driving home, she sat there gripping the steering wheel, tears falling silently. She opened her mouth, but couldn't make a sound. Her scream stayed trapped in her chest. She had no friends left who really knew her. She and her sister Emily had drifted apart. Emily had warned her once, years ago. "He doesn't see you, Car. He sees what you do for him." Carla had defended him back then, said Emily didn't understand. Carla looked at her reflection in the car mirror that day. Tired eyes, lines around her mouth. Her father was gone. Her mother had died when Carla was just 17. And somewhere along the way, Carla had stopped asking herself what she wanted. Now she could barely remember. Carla searches Nathan's office while he's away, hidden in a locked drawer. Not just her passport, but evidence of a secret second bank account in his name only. Withdrawals made under her father's name while he was still alive. Nathan stole her inheritance. There's also a signed power of attorney, possibly forged. Her hands trembled as she flipped through the stack of documents. At the top sat her passport. She grabbed it like a lifeline, her heart racing with relief, then confusion, then fear. It had been here all along, locked away like a stolen object. Underneath it, she found the bank statements. At first, they made no sense. Why was her father's name listed on transfers going to a bank Carla had never used? And why was the receiving account in Nathan's name only? She kept digging, flipping faster now. There were more documents, wire transfers, signed authorizations, even medical expenses she didn't recognize. And then, at the very bottom, a copy of a legal form, durable power of attorney. She froze. Her father's name was printed at the top, and Nathan's just below, listed as the designated agent. It was signed and dated just 2 weeks before her father had died, but the signature didn't look right. It was shaky, like someone trying to copy someone else's handwriting. Her stomach dropped. She sat back on the carpet, surrounded by papers, the air thick and hard to breathe. She tried to steady her thoughts, but they scattered like glass. It all started to come back, the way Nathan had slowly taken over everything near the end of her father's life. The bills, the insurance calls, the funeral arrangements. He said it was to take the pressure off her. She'd been grieving, exhausted. She let him handle it. She trusted him. Carla pressed a hand to her forehead as her memory flashed to one night in the den. Her father had been in his armchair, eyes half closed, Nathan typing on his laptop beside him. When she asked what they were doing, Nathan had smiled. Just organizing his paperwork. You don't need to worry. She hadn't questioned it. Now she realized he didn't help, he took. This wasn't just about a hidden passport or a ruined trip. This was theft, a betrayal so deep it made her skin feel cold. Nathan had stolen money meant for her, money her father had saved, maybe even left specifically to give her a fresh start. Nathan had taken it behind her back, quietly, piece by piece. And he hadn't stopped there. He'd forged her father's trust too. Carla picked up the power of attorney form again and looked at her father's signature, trying to convince herself it was real. But her gut told her the truth. Nathan hadn't just trapped her in this lie. He built the cage with her father's name. Carla tries to confront Nathan again. He gaslights her. You're imagining things. You're tired. I'm protecting you. He threatens to have her committed if she doesn't calm down. She stood in the living room, clutching the papers, her face pale and eyes wide. You stole from me, from my dad. I found everything. His money, the account, the forged signature. I know what you did. Nathan didn't even blink. He sat on the edge of the couch, calm, like he was waiting for a commercial break to end. Carla, he said gently, you're not well. You're exhausted. You're seeing things that aren't there. Don't talk to me like I'm crazy, she snapped. I'm not. I'm trying to help you. You haven't been yourself lately. Maybe all the grief, it's catching up to you. I'm not imagining this, she shouted, shaking the papers at him. You lied to me. You stole my inheritance. Nathan stood now, slowly, like approaching a scared animal. Listen to yourself. Do you hear how you sound? You're unraveling. I'm worried about you. She backed away. Then came the real threat. If you can't calm down, I may have to call someone. Maybe get you some professional help. You know what they do to people who lose control like this, right? Carla stared at him, stunned. You would… what? Have me locked up? I'd rather do that than watch you hurt yourself. Or me. He said it softly, but his eyes were cold. She turned and left the room. Papers clutched to her chest. She went to the bedroom and locked the door. The shaking didn't stop for hours. Later that night, she called her sister Emily. Em, I need to tell you something, Carla said, her voice dry and weak. Emily hesitated. What's going on? Carla tried to explain everything, the hidden account, the forged documents, Nathan's threats. Her voice cracked halfway through. There was a long silence on the other end. Carla, this doesn't sound like him. Are you sure you're not… Just overwhelmed? I mean, after everything with Dad. I am sure, Carla said firmly. He's been manipulating me for years. I didn't see it until now. I mean, Nathan's always been stable, reliable. You're the one who's been under pressure. Carla felt her stomach twist. You don't believe me. I believe you believe this. But it sounds like maybe you need a break. Maybe that retreat wasn't such a bad idea after all. Carla hung up. That night she cried in the shower. Not quiet tears, but the kind that shook her body. She slid down the cold tile and stayed there until the water ran cold. A few days later, Nathan brought her breakfast in bed. Toast, eggs, orange juice. She didn't touch it. I've signed us up for a couple's retreat, he said cheerfully. One of those nice resorts in Colorado. We could use a reset. She stared at him. It's for both of us, Carla. You need rest. We both do. She didn't answer. She just nodded. That night, unable to sleep, she scrolled through old voice memos on her father's phone. She hadn't been able to bring herself to delete them yet. One file near the end caught her eye, dated 2 weeks before he died. She hit play. Her father's voice was weak, raspy. If something happens to me, if Nathan starts making decisions on my behalf, don't trust him. I don't like how close he's gotten to the paperwork. Be careful, sweetheart. Her hand flew to her mouth. She replayed it 3 times. She wasn't crazy. She wasn't imagining it. Her father had seen it too, and he had tried to warn her. Carla sat in the dark, soaked in silence and grief, but something inside her began to shift. Not just pain anymore, something hotter, something that wanted to fight back. Carla contacts an old friend from journalism school, Danielle, now a lawyer. Danielle believes her immediately. They meet at a quiet cafe on a cold Tuesday morning. Carla arrives early and sits by the window, hands trembling around a paper cup of tea. She hasn't spoken to Danielle in years, but she remembers her as sharp, loyal, and fearless. When Danielle walks in, she doesn't hesitate. She hugs Carla tightly, then sits down and listens. Carla tells her everything about the missing passport, the fake power of attorney, the secret bank account, and the voice memo from her father. Her voice breaks halfway through, but Danielle never interrupts. She just nods, her eyes focused. When Carla finishes, she says, I know it sounds insane. Danielle leans forward. It doesn't. It sounds like abuse, and possibly fraud. Carla's breath catches. Just hearing someone say it out loud makes it feel real and terrifying, but also like something she can fight. We'll start slow, Danielle says. Quietly, no sudden moves. Can you get me copies of everything? Carla nods. She doesn't know how yet, but she will. In the days that follow, Carla becomes a shadow in her own house. Quiet, precise, watching everything. She waits until Nathan goes out, then scans the forged document, her father's voice memo, and screenshots of the bank statements. She uploads them to a new cloud account, one Nathan doesn't know exists. She keeps the originals exactly where she found them. Nothing looks disturbed. She whispers with Danielle late at night, earbuds tucked in tight, while Nathan watches TV downstairs. They talk about possible next steps. Danielle warns her, don't let him know you're onto him. Not yet. At first, the fear is overwhelming. Carla double-checks everything. She clears her browser history, deletes messages, and keeps her phone on silent. But then something shifts. The more she acts, the stronger she feels. Not bold, not yet, but steady. One afternoon, while folding laundry, she practices saying no under her breath. No, I don't agree. No, that's not okay. No. It feels strange in her mouth, clumsy, unfamiliar. But slowly, it becomes easier. At dinner one night, Nathan eyes her closely. You've been quiet, he says. I've just been tired, she replies, keeping her voice level. He nods, but his gaze lingers. She feels the weight of it all through the meal. Every word feels like it's walking a tightrope. Later that night, he says, you know, if you're still feeling off, maybe I should come to your next doctor's appointment, just to help explain things. Carla smiles tightly. No need. I can handle it. She goes to bed early that night, heart racing, mind alert. She knows he suspects something, but for the first time in years, she isn't afraid of him. She's preparing, she's done waiting, and she's not going to let him win. Danielle helps Carla file for a restraining order and freeze the suspicious account. Carla serves Nathan divorce papers and moves into a women's shelter temporarily to ensure her safety. They plan it carefully. Danielle explains every step, every form, every legal move. Carla listens and nods, taking it all in with a strange mix of fear and focus. The papers are ready. The court approves the emergency order. The shelter is arranged. Carla leaves the house quietly, just before dawn. She packs only what she needs: some clothes, her laptop, her father's phone, and a folder with all the evidence. She pauses by the front door for just a second, looking at the walls, the photos, the place where she once believed she was safe. Then she walks out. By mid-morning, Nathan is served, right in front of his office building, while talking with two colleagues. The process server hands him the envelope. Nathan's smile drops. He opens it. Then he looks up, eyes wild. "What the hell is this?" he yells. "She's crazy. This is all lies." People stare. His colleagues step back. "She's not well," he shouts, louder now, angry and humiliated. "She's not stable." But no one answers. They just keep looking. Later that night, Carla sits alone in the small shelter room. It's plain, just a narrow bed, a metal dresser, and a small window. But it's quiet, safe. She sits on the edge of the bed and lets herself breathe. For the first time in a long time, no one is watching her. No one is questioning her. Her hands are still shaking, but her mind is calm. Danielle calls to check in. "He took the papers," she says. "Lost it in front of everyone." Carla closes her eyes. "Good. You okay?" Carla nods. "I think so. I'm somewhere safe." There's a pause on the line. Then Danielle says softly, "You just saved your own life." Carla lets the words sink in. She doesn't cry. She just breathes. At mediation, Nathan smugly tries to deny everything, but Danielle presents the forged power of attorney and a notarized letter from Carla's father's former caregiver, stating Nathan coerced him while he was sedated. Nathan leans back in his chair, confident. "There's no proof of anything. This is just her word against mine." Carla sits across from him, clutching a small photo of her father in her lap, one from years ago, when he still smiled wide and held her hand at the beach. She says nothing, her heart pounding. Danielle lays a thick folder on the table. "Actually," she says calmly, "we have plenty of proof." She pulls out the forged document. "This is the power of attorney Nathan submitted after Mr. Avery's death. Here is a handwriting analysis showing discrepancies. And here," she holds up another sheet, "is a notarized statement from Mr. Avery's in-home nurse, Carla Gutierrez." Carla watches Nathan's face shift. Danielle reads aloud. "Nathan frequently insisted on signing paperwork on behalf of Mr. Avery while the patient was under heavy sedation due to his cancer medication. I voiced concern, but he insisted he had legal permission. Mr. Avery expressed confusion and concern about some of the forms he was told to sign." Silence. Nathan's lawyer looks down. Nathan leans forward, red rising in his face. "This is ridiculous. You got some nurse to lie." The judge holds up a hand. "Mr. Avery, enough. I took care of that man. I did everything for this family. You don't know what she's like." "Enough," the judge snaps. "Given this testimony and the supporting documentation, we are moving forward with a formal investigation into financial misconduct and document fraud. In the meantime, the court grants temporary control of all disputed funds to Carla Avery." Carla doesn't move, doesn't react. Inside, everything goes still. Nathan sits back, stunned. His mask cracks in front of everyone. As the room clears, Danielle squeezes Carla's hand. "We did it." Carla steps out of the courthouse into the afternoon light. It's bright, warm. She closes her eyes for a second and lifts her face to the sun. She thought this moment would feel like revenge, but it doesn't. It feels like peace. Hi, besties. Thanks for watching till the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.